I was raised by a single mother, right? My whole life, obviously. But during my childhood, on and off, me, my older sister Dana, and my older brother Vic, we lived with my grandmother, on and off. So much so, we lived with my grandmother and my grandparents for so long that, like, we actually, like most folks, especially if you black and you from the urban area, whatever, you know how it go. You know, either your grandmother raised you, or they helped raise you. Well, my grandmother helped raise us partially. We lived with her. We would go to school. I think we went to like maybe two or three, maybe three or four different, like three or four different times we lived with my grandmother, and we went to school when we lived with my grandmother, my grandparents, I should say. I always say it. When I say it like that, I always say my grandma because, but it was my grandmother and my grandfather. We was raised partially by grandparents, but I always say my grandmother because my grandpa was he was a truck driver. So he was always in and out of town. Y'all know how it is when they truck drivers. We was young, we was children, like 5, 6 years old, running around. He was a truck driver, so he was always gone. And when he was there, he wasn't really there. My grandma still ran stuff. My grandma was, she was, my grandma was, she was a very rare woman. She wasn't. I won't get into super details, whatnot, because I don't want to, feel like I'm disrespecting my mother. But my grandma was a very, my grandma was strict. She was stern, and she was militant. That's how she was. She was loving at times. Periodically, you would see the you would see the human in her. You would see the human affection in her. You know, little glimpse, little glimpse. She was a real extravagant woman. When we were younger, and all the homes that they lived in, they were always prestigious homes, two-story homes. You walk in, staircases. They would have staircases that actually twirl and go up, and you go to the top and you look down and, hey, Vic, look at me. And like big old houses. Every single home that they had big homes. When you walk in, it always smelled like a church. Always had that scent, that nice scent smell in it. Real extravagant. All this prestigious glass everywhere, crystal, gold. Even back then in the late 70s, early 80s, my grandma had a big ass TV, but it was stuck in the, it was mounted in the wall. And when you were a child, you go to friends' homes and you spend the nights at your friend's house as you growing up and go to school. And can I spend the night at Johnny house tonight? Yeah, be back in the morning. Boom, you go do that. But as you do this, like I never, ever, ever, and I had friends that family had money too, because like I said, my grandma had money, my grandparents had money. So all these big homes that they would have, yeah, they would be in the neighborhood of other people who had big homes. They wasn't the only ones with money. They was just the only ones with money in our family. But on the block and that neighborhoods they would live, yeah, they wasn't the only one with money. So our friends, we go to they got their parents got money, and we would go to their homes. But going through all these homes, spending the night, twisting and turning, juke moving, stealing bikes and whatnot. Yeah, I never seen nobody with TVs in their wall. Just never seen it. Just my grandma. TVs mounted in the wall. Now, even though my grandmother was strict, stern, and militant, every Christmas, man, are you crazy? Every Christmas, oh my God, was a blast, was a ball. She had the same Christmas tree she would use every year. It was all white, like like it was snow. It was fake though, but like it was snowed on, all white, not a green speck of leaf you could see. All white Christmas tree. Decked the whole house out, outside, inside. Every Christmas, I will admit, was always gorgeous. We had every toy you could imagine because my grandparents had money. But at the same time, my grandma was strict. She was stern. And she was militant. We playing through the house one day, running around. messed around and bumped the glass table. You didn't break it, you didn't shatter it, you didn't smudge or smear it. You just ran past and just bumped it. That's all you did. My grandma see that. My grandma would wear this long slit with this bonnet sometimes on her head when she would walk around the house doing her thug thizzle. She'd wear this long slit. My grandma see you bump that glass. Yeah, she'll reach down at her slit and she'll hike it up and she'll lift up her leg and she would just begin to ever so gently begin to stomp the bejesus out of you. I want y'all to see my legs. See my leg? Look at this. You see what I'm doing? This is what it was light work. This was every day, every single moment, every single time you did something that she felt was out of pocket. No matter how big, no matter how small, no matter how minute that it happened to be. If my grandma saw fit that it wasn't, yeah, you bumped that glass, yeah, she will begin to stomp the bejesus out of you. But you didn't bump that glass again. That's how she was, because she was strict, she was stern, and she was militant. I remember one time we was eating at the dinner table. We was going to a school called Rose Linda, so I had to be like, oh man, I probably was like 5 or 6. I was a little young bo. You know what I mean? Young bo. We sitting at the dinner table. Now the table is around like an ovalish like this. I'm sitting right here. Across from me is my big sister Dana. On the side of me right here is my big brother Vic. And my grandpa is sitting right here. And I'm right here, obviously. Now, to get from the living room to the kitchen, the only way to do this, you have to go past me. Well, my grandmother comes through one day and one night we eating and she comes to go past. I guess my chair was out too far back to where she couldn't get through. So when she tried to get past and she couldn't get through, she didn't say, Carnell, move your chair so grandma can get past. She didn't say that. She didn't say nothing at all. She just politely took her hands and went like this. And you know how your ears are right here, right? Right on the side. She just took her hands and as hard as she could, she said, blah, on my ears. Listen to me. When this woman hit my ears, she didn't have to hit me and be like, now move your chair. I'm trying to get by. She didn't have to say none of that. Soon as she hit my ears, I just innately knew what was cracking. I scooped it right up. Like, yep, that's it. That's the ticket. Yep. Whew, that's it. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, ears ringing. Wow, 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 wow. Wow, wow, wow. Nigga, ears ringing. That's how my grandmother was. Because she was strict, she was stern, and she was militant. My older sister, Dana, never got in trouble. Never got in trouble. She was my grandmother's absolutely favorite. My sister, Dana, was the apple of my grandmother's eye and my grandfather. She could do no wrong. My sister used to like, she was a big Mickey Mouse fan back then. So my sister room, and I remind you, my grandmother was raising all of us. Dana, Vic, and me. It was 3 of us she was raising. And we all had the same room. But why was it my sister's room? Everything was Mickey Mouse. Like we wasn't even allowed to talk on the phone back then because we were so little. My grandma was strict, stern, and militant. We couldn't even talk on the phone. My sister had a Mickey Mouse phone. Now what's she gonna do with that? She can't talk on that. She little ass girl. That's how it was. Sister had everything laid out for her. Everything everywhere. It was always my sister room. No matter where we moved, it was always my sister room, my sister room. And my grandfather would keep quiet about it. He never said anything about it because my grandma, you know what I mean, she ran the house. So this is the type of stuff that we had to deal with. Now what I will say is my brother Vic, my older brother Vic, yeah. Like to my brother Vic, if he would say it, I'm pretty sure it was damn near hell on earth for him. Now I'm not gonna go into complete details of why it's like that, because I don't know if my brother want me to say all that. But my brother Vic had it the worst. When I say worst, Man, my big bro had it worse when it came to my grandmother. For some reason, she just did not like my brother. And that, and I know it bothered my brother, obviously, but yeah, because, that was my brother, still my bro to this day. Like, that was my childhood hero. To this day, I look up to my brother, you understand? So, but even back then, more so, like, that was my brother. He was, shit, he was Michael Jordan to me, nigga. For real. He was like all that. That was my bro, like, genius. Talk about a genius. The boy is a genius, creative with his. There was nothing this nigga couldn't conquer or do. That was my hero. That was my dude. So yeah, that shit would hurt me bad. But yeah, the things she would do with my bro, blah blah blah. But yeah, my brother had it the worst back then. So yeah, I'm pretty sure it was hell on earth when it came in my brother's, perspective. But this is all the things. This is all the stuff that we had to deal with. Now, granted, when we would go to school and we would talk to our friends and tell our friends' story because we thought this shit was normal. Because when you grow up into something, you feel that's the way it is. Until we began to talk to our friends and stuff, and they would tell us how they grandma. We'd be like, man, your grandma do all that? She cool like that? You play fight with your grandma? Like, whoa. You better not ever think about play fight with Iola Lee. That's my grandma's name, Iola Lee. You better not ever think about play fighting with her. She'll pull that. She had a pistol. It was like this long. It was a Colt. Chrome. She had it, man. Listen to me. She pulled that thing out and get the popping on you. Yeah, my grandmother was loony. She was out there. She really pop on you. Listen to me. I remember one time when we was in school. Now, keep in mind, I'm 48 years old. I just turned 48 just past July 18, right? But when I was in the third grade, and those of y'all watching, y'all went to school with me in the third grade, I went to Griffith, the school called Griffith. Now watch this. Back then in school, yeah, when you would get in trouble X amount of times to get your name on the board, then you get a check mark. Yeah, you get 2 or 3 check marks. You go to the office and you get a paddle. You get they use a paddle, but you would get a SWAT. My fault. You get a SWAT with a paddle. That's how it was back then. That's how the schools were. Listen to me. I did something one day. I don't remember what it was because I was always doing dumb stuff. Listen, I go to the office and get a SWAT. Maka. Get my thing, right? It was at the end of school. Right? So happened to be at the end of school. I got called to the office to get my SWAT. I get my SWAT. I'm a little boy, so I'm crying, of course. They didn't put no paddings and like that. And my principal was a heavy set white lady with short curly blonde hair with glasses. She was a healthy ass lady too. She had them big ham hock, big meaty arms. Yeah, she did serve me nice. I'm crying. My grandma come pick us up. I'm sitting in the office. Her, my brother Vic, and my sister Dana, they come in the office. They couldn't find me because I wasn't where I was supposed to be because I got a SWAT. So I had to sit in the office. So they came in the office like, where the hell my grandson? They like, oh, boom, right there. She looked, I'm crying. My grandma like, Cornell, why you crying? Why you crying? So I tell her why I'm crying. I got a SWAT. She said, a what? I said, a SWAT. She like, nigga, what is that? Like, I know good and damn well you ain't talking about what I think. I'm like, yeah, I got a SWAT with a paddle, grandma. The lady paddled me in my butt. So, I cried. Like, you know what I mean? I was a kid. She was like, okay, y'all go on to the car. Y'all go on to the car. We go to the car. Me and my brother used to go to the car, and we sitting there for I don't know how long. It was back in the day. I can't remember all the details, but we sitting there for I don't know how long. The police pull up. So now we like, oh, snap. What's going on? Police come up, get out the car. They go inside the school. We still sit in the car looking, watching all the festivities. They go into school, do their thing, bam, bam, bam. Next thing you know, they walk out with my grandmother. They walk out with my grandma. She got her purse and with her pistol in her hand still in her purse. And you can still see partially of her pistol. She still got her pistol, and the cops escorting my grandma to the car without any handcuffs. And they're not, And listen to me. And when they walk up to the car, they're talking like their old lodge buddy friends, which I found out later why that is. And I'll tell y'all that in a different video. But yeah, and she's walking. My grandma done set up here and pulled the pistol on the damn principal because the principal gave me a SWAT. That's what I'm talking about. My grandma was loony. She was strict, she was stern, and she was militant. True story. You could verify it with anybody. Yeah, my grandma, yeah, Iola Lee was off the rockers. Yeah, and pulled the pistol on the chick. Gets in the car. Don't nobody hit mama will put their hands on my. And when my grandmother would get angry, anytime she would get mad, and you knew when she was mad, even if you couldn't hear shit, if you was deaf, you would knew she was mad because she would always do this with her mouth. Let me tell you, she moved mouth to the side like this. You black, you son of a, get your mother. You don't put your hands on my grand. Yeah, she would call put a hard like this. That way, you know how Michael Jordan got hung up when he dunking? Yeah, anybody that know my grandma, and all my cousins, my uncles, and yeah, everybody knew Iola. Yeah, when she get heated, yeah, she go put a shot on that mouth and get a popping kid. And even though she was talking funny, you understood every damn word she was saying. You black son of a bitch. Yeah, that's how my grandma was, my nigga. That's how she was. And that's what we had to live with day by day, every single day, especially my older brother Vic. Like I said, it was hell on earth for my dude. So every day we had to go through that. And my mother would come back and get us. We go live with my mother for a while and go to school with her. And we back home with mama. And like my mother, complete 360. Well, no, not 360. That's not 360. 180. There you go. Complete 180 from my grandma. One of the most lovingest women you ever want to meet. That is my ride or die. That is my road dog. I love my mama. You understand that? Can't do no wrong in my eyes. Anything I need, she'll come running. If she got it, I got it. And listen, okay, because, it's my older brother, my oldest, not Vic, my oldest brother, Archie. He passed away before we were born, but that was my oldest brother, Archie. And then it's my sister, Dana, and then it's my brother, Vic, and then it's me. And then there is no more. So I'm the baby. So you already know how it is. Even growing up as a child, like my brother and my sister may not got nothing for their birthdays and all that good stuff when it was their birthdays from my mother. Because remember, my mother treated us all equal and fair to an extent. My sister was my grandmother's pig. So when we all lived with my grandmother, that's when me and my brother, it wasn't so sweet for me and my brother, especially my brother. But when we all lived with my mama was like, nah, we ain't gonna do all that. We gonna fair this thing up and dish it out like that. But when it came to me, it was a little bit different, but that's natural because I'm the baby of the family. So yeah, it wasn't nothing I didn't have or couldn't have when I was, right outside, when I was younger. So it was like that. So, but this is the things that we had to go through, living with my grandparents. I mean, they bought us bikes and stuff for Christmas and things of that nature, so we were able to play outside. Like so, but it just the structure was different. We didn't have friends come to the house. We were scared to have friends come to the house because my grandma was strict. She was stern and she was militant. Didn't want her to drill my homeboys and stuff like that. And but so I say that, I guess, to say this. Stop thinking that your parents wake up every day and the highlight of their day is raising your children. Stop thinking that. Stop thinking that. And I can say that because that's one of the mistakes amongst a lot of them, but that's one of the mistakes that I made, when I was because I have 6 children. But having my children as I was younger, growing up to be an older man, whether or not, yeah, that was a mistake that I did. I left, their mother to raise them by themselves. 4 of my children, their mother, yeah, I left her to raise them by themselves. And not just that, their grandmother had to come down here. They had a house somewhere in Elmira, and they all lived with her. But the thing is, I wasn't handling my business as a man. Why? Because and had my own spot, my own thing, my own world going on, so my children could actually live with their father because they came from me. So they should live with their father, especially as children growing up. That's just the order. They was never supposed to be living with their grandmother, and their mother never supposed to be taking care and raising them singly or whatever you want to call it. I was supposed to, do my part in that. So that's why I'm saying I can say that. Yeah, I don't think they grandma actually really wanted to raise them. You got to understand. I know people. Yeah, and grandmothers are strong. They are the staples of the family. Yes, they are strong. But you got to understand when your grandma have grandparent have your ass, they love their children, which are you. And then when you have children, the grandparents look at your child or children and they see their child or children in their grandchildren. So it's a lot of love going on too. So a lot of love helps the grandmother raise these children even when they really don't want to. It really has something, you know what I mean? It's not that they hate the grandchild or they're, but no, they're older now. Like your mama like 57, 62 years old. Why she raising your child type thing. You know what I mean? So I don't really think my grandparents really wanted to raise niggas like that. But, I guess they did it. I don't really know. Honestly, I don't really know why my grandmother did it. I mean, some grandmothers will raise a child just to try to make the mother look bad or the father look bad. I've seen that happen before too in life. So who knows? I'm not saying I don't know. I don't know. I don't know as far as when you get to the specifics. I don't know really why. But I know my sister was my grandmother's favorite, so maybe that's why she raised me and my brother too, because it was like a package deal type thing. She probably wouldn't have mind to have just my sister. I don't know. I'm not gonna speak for my grandmother. She passed away in '97, so my grandmother being gone, so I'm not gonna speak all foul on her like that now. So I don't know all that, but yeah, that's all I'm saying. Like that's not the high, like because think about it. You have a child or children, you raise them, and you do the best you can. You give them what they need, and you even give them what they want at times. And if you can't give them what they want, you at least have given them what they need. You sacrifice. You've lost out on a whole bunch of money. You've lost out on dreams and goals. There's plans your parents had before they had you. There's plans that they had. But you lost out on all them plans because you had a child or children. So you said, okay, you sacrifice and you put it down and you raise them. And they become adults and they finally move out your house. They got jobs, they're working sufficiently. They have vehicles, they have girlfriends, boyfriends, whatnot. But now they begin to pop out all these babies everywhere. And as they begin to pop out these babies, they slide them your way. Oh, pregnant again. Boom. Go to grandma. Go to grandma. Go to grandma, grandpa. Or however it go. I say grandma because it's mostly grandmas. I rarely see grandpas, right? But yeah, go to grandma. Like, keep it real. You really think your mom and daddy, your parents really wake up every day because they want to do that? No, my nigga. It has nothing to do with hatred. It has nothing to do with none of that. But let your parents live their life. Straight up and down, my nigga. They old. Like they trying to live their life. So yeah, stop thinking your parents really want to raise your children. I'll take them to grandma and grandpa. Stop thinking they want to. Now, if they call you and be like, bring them over, then you take them over. But yeah, let's stop thinking our parents actually really want to raise our children. Because deep down inside, I don't believe that they do all like that. I just don't. I'm gone. Charlie Brown, boy.